friends, this is Keith Valley. I'd like to introduce you to our hand engraving silver video. This is the traditional art without using the aid of power tools. Now the challenge in this type of art is that you have to master the control of the tools without any aid of power tools. So it requires a much higher level of the skill of the engraver to do this. The other thing I like about this type of art is it's very much unlike the die-struck pieces of jewelry that you may see today out of mass production companies. They take a big unit or a big machine and strike a die on the silver, and in just a few seconds, you have a finished piece. So unlike that, these pieces that we produce in the silver are all one of a kind. These are not mass-produced. They're not duplicated. They're all individual pieces of art that are unique, each one to itself. And one thing that makes this unique is, as you see, this engraver is not using a template. He's drawing his flow as references, and he doesn't even draw all that much, just enough to get him started, and then he'll fill in with freehand engraving as we go along. One of the key things about this type of engraving also is mastering making your own engraving tools and also mastering the sharpening of them so that you can get the correct cuts without the aid of power tools. Now you'll notice by this clip that this engraver is actually viewing his engraving through the aid of a microscope. So he's getting a really large image through that microscope to see the fine detail as he's engraving there.
You can't do this with power tools.
Now our engraver is doing the flower center. Next he'll be doing some petals for the flowers. And this is a really interesting stage to watch because the metal starts coming to life. It's very rewarding to engrave and see this come along. It's not like watching paint dry. So we'll just take a couple minutes and watch him work on these flowers. So once the flowers have a pretty good design to them, then comes the stem work around them, and then also the scroll work. You'll see the stems start to be engraved around the scrolls. You really start seeing the flow of the silver come to life in these next few minutes. Now too, notice just how much silver is peeling up with each cut, and that's really a essential thing that's happening, and that's what gives these hand tools the advantage over power tools, and the fact that it doesn't have the what you call chatter or the little marks that the power hammers produce on silver. This is very, very clean cut. So as the block is turned, you can actually start seeing how the light plays on the silver engraving, how it gives it the shadows. And in just a couple minutes, we're going to add some lines to these stems to really give it a little bit more texture, a little bit more realistic feeling to it. At this point too, you can see just how important to have control with your left hand of the block and how it can aid in the smooth cuts. I'd like to mention that this bracelet will be available for purchase at cowboysaddlery.com.